Hi everyone. I am standing in front of Route 8. This is a 4-lane highway that goes down to a 2-lane highway and connects Fredericton all the way to Miramichi. But it is a dividing line between two parts of the city of Fredericton. Now, about 4 years ago I made a video in front of this exact same spot with the hope to build interest in creating an overpass at this location. A pedestrian and cycle lane overpass from Skyline Acres to College Hill. Let me tell you why I still think it's a good idea. On one side of the highway, if we look this way, we've got a pretty extensive residential area. Still need a haircut. And then over this way, as you can see that we're connecting over to College Hill, UNB, St. Thomas University, and NBCC, as well as to the hospital over here and a number of apartment buildings. And I still think this idea has merit. We've made a few presentations to the City Mobility Committee, and I know there's going to be a feasibility study underway, but I'm hopeful that we can move on this concept. The concept, as we described as a citizens committee a number of years ago, was to see this area redeveloped. First, phase one, a pedestrian and cycle crossing at this location here, where we already see a lot of people walking and cycling across. You can see some paths there.
We already have an example structure in Fredericton that we could be considering at this location. The 104th Regimental Footbridge in downtown Fredericton. When this was originally built, some considered it a bridge to nowhere. Now, we can't imagine the city without it, as it connects one side of a cycle and walking network over to the downtown. And you can see just from this example how effective it is. It's a great looking structure. It's wide enough for cyclists and pedestrians, but again, what you're not going to see on this bridge are vehicles. And that's by design, because this is meant to separate people and from the vehicles. And you can see how effective it is at getting across the highway here and connecting to the downtown. So imagine something similar, a hub for activity, a hub for connection at the top of Route 8 at College Hill and Skyline Acres. But how much of a difference would this make in terms of travel distance if we were to build this? There is the place I was standing. If we were just to take this part of the neighborhood right here and using existing trails and just to connect across a bridge, let's say over to St. Thomas University, we are looking at just over a kilometer, almost a kilometer as the crow flies. Let's look at that in terms of driving distance. There's a couple ways you can get there, but let's take this one. And let's say that we want to go up, take the highway, and this is probably the way that if I were driving to St. Thomas, I would go. And into the parking lot up here, we're talking almost over 3.5 kilometers. So that's almost 4 times the length to drive that distance versus to walk or cycle it if we were to go through this location. So if we are thinking about ways to make this more attractive for walking and biking versus driving, the first way to start is reduce the distance. That'll reduce the time and make it much more attractive for people. And since, again, if we just zoom right in here, you can see there's people already doing it. Look at the pathways that are built here.
I think we need to think big. And I challenge ourselves to, as a city, to think about how we might leverage building a crossing here, whether we stick with the original vision of a crossing in addition to having some redevelopment, either parkland, or I even suggested a park and ride or connecting into transit. But let's think about if we can get this idea going again and what it might do for the city to have it happen.